Another Rambler video for the books. I'm here today with Colby.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. And yeah, today we're going to throw it up on the lift. We're going to get the oil changed, the coolant flushed out, some new stuff in there, and see how things are looking. Just going to be a quick video. Maybe I'll make this a bit longer and throw in some more stuff, but for today at least, that's what we are doing. Cool.
Looks like it died on him. What happened?
It's idling a little bit right now. I did try to move it pretty quickly after I started it, and every time that I have started it up, it's needed a quick minute just to warm up, so I'll give it a little bit of time to warm up. So the old girl is in the garage now. We turned up the idle a little bit because every single time that we'd put it into gear, it would drop down pretty heavily, like in RPMs at least. So idle's up a little bit. It didn't stall once we did that, so hopefully that's the issue. The air filter's also old and gummed up as well, so I have new ones coming. My front tires are spinning because they have a mind of their own. And yeah, I'm gonna get under, I'm gonna change the oil, coolant, and see what we got. We're taking our first looks and getting our initial impressions under here, sorry. It does look a little wet underneath of here. Just a little bit of coolant coming from that side, so hopefully that's just a hose or not anything too bad. A little bit oily on the bottom of this pan right here, a little bit of oil on the bottom of the filter, so we're gonna wipe it dry and clean it up a little bit, see what we can get. Maybe I'll hit it with some brake cleaner, I have some extra in the Lexus, but all things considered, there's not much rust back here at least. So that's at least a good thing. You can see a little bit of coolant,
little rust on this.
A little bit of coolant dripping off the starter right there, so that definitely does concern me, but I'll also be changing that out today. The transmission looks a little bit wet too. I don't know if that's leaking fluid, but I'll keep an eye on that. Looks like something might have been nesting up there at some point. See that right by the shifter linkage?
Yeah.
But
Let's see.
we'll clean it out, change the oil, and see what we can get. We're going to go make a field trip out real quick because AutoZone, in all of their geniusness on their website, has sold me a filter that is, it's hard to see here.
Literally half the size.
This is significantly smaller. So it's not going to fit on the engine, which means it is of no use to me. So fortunately, the local auto parts tractor supply store has one in stock. They always seem to come in clutch whenever we needed parts. So support small business. Let's go down and pick up an actual fitting oil filter. Got a Wix filter to replace this one. You can't really tell, but they're the same width. It's a little bit shorter, but I'm not too worried about it. Probably just going to change the oil, though, because I do have somewhere to be. So going to crank that loose, going to get the filter off, put it back on, and fill her up. Colby's cranking that loose. We're going to get the moment of truth, see how the oil looks, and I'm going to hope it is looking good.
Watch for any filings or anything.
I love that sound.
Is there anything on the plug? Put your light down here. Smooth.
Looks good there. Looks good coming out here. Obviously,
Train quick too.
just as big of a test will be how it comes out of the filter as well.
Yeah.
So we put a 1-inch socket on it, and that was enough to crank it loose.
It's a big plug.
Looks like it did have a bit of a gasket on there, but we'll clean it off, and it looks like it's a reusable one, so
No
that should be
filings or
good.
anything, though. It feels real smooth too. There's
Yeah.
like not really any
All things
filings.
considered,
That's pretty solid.
no complaints there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. So we'll take the filter off as well, and then see how
Looking good so far.
that looks. Polish it up a little bit, just get it nice and clean. It also seems that something was nesting up here at some point, so I'll just take that off real quick.
Are those mud divers? Yeah, that was from mud divers.
This must have been.
So there actually might be larvae in it. Yeah, look, there it is. Ugh.
You never know what you'll find underneath an old car like this.
We had them up there on the curtain before, in the corner of the green curtain. They were there. They were on the bottom of the 83 too, so I had to tear the nest off the bottom of it.
Some nasty stuff. Okay, here's what we call moment of truth part 2. Open it up and it just spills out metal shavings. I'm really hoping not. How's it looking there? Same old, same old.
Yeah, not bad. If you can see, it's just dark, but it's not like gloopy or anything.
It's got the
Yeah,
consistency of
see how the
oil.
seal feels. Smooth as butter. So we'll just set that there. That drain.
There she
Looks
goes.
really good, actually.
I'm happy with that at least. Old filter right here, as you can obviously tell this one's a little bit older. New one here. See, they're about the same size.
Same diameter, just a little bit shorter on one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like me, shorter than most, so yeah. But anyways. Inappropriate. But anyways, we're gonna get a little bit of oil on the ring of that one, seat it up into there, clean off anything else that spilled. It's clean, drain plug is back on. There's some new oil in it, and then take it up to 150 miles an hour and make sure that it can hold it.
Yeah.
Except for that last part.
The transmission.
Yeah, just blow it up. New oil filter is in there, pre-filled it with some oil. Bolts back on the drain pan, or drain bolts back on the oil pan. I will take her down, fill it up with new oil, or just run it without oil and see how it does.
Yeah, we should do that for experimental purposes.
Yeah, just for experimental purposes. No, just kidding.
No, we're not.
Shall we get her lowered? Still got the filter off of the carburetor, but we're going to throw some oil in here. I have Colby pouring it for me. You can see it's 10W40 Hot Rod Classic with high zinc content, so get in there using the brand new filter. It says 4 quarts without a filter change, but 5 quarts if you change the filter, so obviously we changed the filter. We're going to get that topped off now, and then start her up, make sure that nothing's leaking, and then if it is leaking, I'm going to sell the car. No, I'm just kidding, but...
Because it doesn't have push to start.
Yeah, it doesn't have... This car doesn't have push to start, which means that it sucks. That's how it works.
Exactly.
Any car that doesn't have push to start just sucks, right? My car sucks,
Yeah.
your car sucks.
Exactly. My
That's-
Ranger sucks. The Chevy Express sucks. The 83 sucks.
Just
The Chevelle sucks.
get that topped off and then start her up. Oil is in, topped off the coolant. Gonna try to start her up. Oh, popped out of drive. She seems to be running fine. Let her idle a little bit, make sure it doesn't leak or anything. Yeah. Yeah, idle is a little bit high, but we need to turn it back down, we will. The drain plug is dry, the oil filter is dry. I will consider this a successful mission, so we're gonna drop it down, I'm gonna back it out, and I'm gonna take it out for the day. The car is now out. I do have somewhere to be, which is why I'm in different clothes now, so I'm gonna get heading out. I'm gonna take this for a spin, so if I start recording again, and I'm in this car on the side of the road, then we have a massive problem. But if not, then all went well. I don't know if I'll cut this video here, or if I'll throw in more, but if I do, thanks for watching. If I don't, then see you in a few seconds. So my plan was to be finished recording right after that clip ended. But Rock Auto said, surprise, Christmas came early. So, a couple boxes of parts right here. I have the car covered up right now. Remove what's holding on the cover. Go ahead and take the cover off. Working on getting a legitimate cover for that right now, but for now I'm just using the tarp. There she sits. And, oh, would you look at that? More car parts, so they're multiplying. I have a feeling this is going to be a tendency for as long as I own this car, but let's get installing. Here begins my grand unboxing of auto parts. Let me show you what all Santa brought for me. We'll start down here. I have a Baldwin air filter. It's a PA607. Throw that right here. In this box, I have a Wix air filter. Throw that one right on top of the Baldwin air filter. And in this box, I also have a Wix air filter, so I'll throw that on top of this Wix air filter, on top of this Baldwin air filter. You're probably looking at that and thinking, why would you ever need 3 air filters? And the reason for that is because this is a classic car, as you can tell, so it actually requires 3 times as much air filtration. So you can actually stack them one on top of another, run them kind of in series, if you will, and then get 3 times the air efficiency cleaning power. That was a joke. But in all seriousness, I was on Rock Auto, I was looking at parts numbers and everything, and I found 3 different sizes of air filters that all said that they fit. The 2 Wix said that they fit, and the Baldwin said that they fit, but they are all different sizes. So you're probably thinking, well, how do you know which one's going to fit? And my solution was to buy all 3, and then I'm going to return whichever 2 don't fit. So I'm going to look at what's in there, see what's closest to that, and then return the other 2. Back in this box, we have some size 67 bulbs. In this box, or this bag, sorry, we have another box of bulbs. In this one we have a halogen headlight, another halogen headlight, some more bulbs. That brings us to our last box, which has a new Dorman fuel filter. Now this one fits 5/16 lines. I think I've showed the fuel filter that's in there right now, so I decided to get another one that fits the same exact size line. I like this one because you can see that it has the cartridge inside of it, so you can actually switch those out. I purchased some more cartridges to go with it, so once those eventually go bad, or that one eventually goes bad, I can switch it out, have good filtration in there. And then this one is a gasket that supposedly sits on in the carburetor somewhere that'll seal on the air cleaner, air filter a little bit better, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it'll actually fit. It looks a bit small, but there's what I have. So I'll pop the hood and get cracking. Well, I've got the hood open. I'm going to check the coolant, check the oil. If I can even open this thing. There we go. Still looks about the same level as it was before. I set it about 1 inch low, so doesn't really look too bad. Close that back up. And I'll check the oil. I don't actually have a towel to wipe it down, but at least look at something here. That looks pretty good to me. It's pretty high and it's got about what I put in there, so try to line that back up in there. Bingo. Let's get started with the air filter. Now once again, I'm kind of going to see whichever one fits in there the best, whichever one looks closest to what's in there right now. Pop that off. Throw that over here. There she is. See, she's nice and dirty. So definitely want to get that cleaned out or replaced. We'll see which one has the closest fit. We'll start with the Wix 420/50. A little bit more narrow. It definitely does sit taller as well, so I'll set that one aside. Alright, here's the Wix 420/41. See if that one's any closer. That one lines up just about exactly on the inside, setting it down next to it. It's about the exact same height as the other one as well. I'm liking that so far. Last up, let's see how the Baldwin PA607 looks. Pretty much exactly the same on top. Pretty much exactly the same height. In that case, the Wix 420/50 is definitely off the table. I'll be returning that one for sure. That leaves us with the Wix 420/41 or the Baldwin PA607. I'm going to go with the Baldwin. I do like the way that one feels better. It's got a little bit more of a heavy weight to it. Resembles the old one a bit more, and I don't know. I just like the feel of it, so let's throw that one in. New air filter is getting dropped in. Look at that, nice and snug fit in there. It's exactly what I was looking for, so let's screw the lid back on. Nice and snug, not going anywhere. And I did check that little paper gasket that I showed you. It seems to only fit around this end right here, which I don't really know what that would get me, but it doesn't fit anything that I need it to, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to really use that. I thought it was a paper gasket that might seal around the actual bottom of the unit here, but lo and behold, it is not, so that's not getting used. Fuel filter wise, you can see the one down here is nasty, so I'm going to take that out and I'm going to replace it. Should be as simple as just pinching those little hose clamps off, wiggling it off, making sure that it fits up with the old one, and then putting the new one on. I'm going to grab a bucket to catch that. Cut the old oil jug in half. I don't know what you want to say. Think smarter, not harder. Reduce, reuse, recycle, but however you want to call it. Use that as our little catch can. Ah, come on, there we go. That is some nasty stuff in there. I'd show you how bad that looks, but it is mixed with oil, so you really can't tell all too well. But I'll pull out the filter so you'll be able to see that. Filter. It's formed a pretty snug bond with this line, so I'm trying to wiggle it. There we go. Let me show you what that filter looks like. That right there is rust and sediment buildup if I've ever seen it. Yeah, didn't mean to get that on the ground, but that is nasty. You can see right where that spilled, so glad I'm changing this out. Let's grab the new one. All right, let's pop it out of the package. here it is out of the package. So we'll take these two inlets, compare them. And this one seems like it might just be a little bit bigger. I really can't tell all too well, honestly. This one may be a bit small. I'm really not too sure. They do sell 3/8 size, so if that is too small, I'll throw that in. Not too worried about it at the current moment, but I don't know if I can pop this open or anything. No, I can't, but I was just trying to give an illustration. I mean, just even on the lines, look at all that rust. So, we have our in and our outside here, inside here, outside here. I'll throw it in now. I'm going to get a pair of pliers and then complete the job because pinching that is killing my fingers. It is hard to see because it is partially mixed in with oil, but that's just all rust deposits and oil and gasoline in there, so that is a nasty combination. I'm going to throw that over here. Like I said, I put on the 5/16 fuel line connector right now. I believe it might be 3/8, but we'll see how it runs and how that all goes. If the 5/16 works, I'm just going to keep it in there. But I'll throw this aside. That is everything that I'm doing that would prevent it from running right. So the air filter's in, the fuel filter's in. I'm going to start it up real quick. I am expecting it to choke a little bit because, as you can see, that is a dry fuel filter and I can't really fill it with gasoline. So let's see how she starts. Give a little bit of primer with the gas pedal. Let's see how things look inside. There it is. It's filling up with gasoline. I can't really see how it looks. I'll get a better look at it later, but right now it looks clean, so I'm happy with that, and it doesn't look like it's leaking either. Air filter seems to be on there pretty good. Happy with it. Next up is turn signals. If I turn on my left turn signal, you can see it's blinking right there. Nothing up front, but blink in the back. That bulb did burn out on me, so I bought a new set. I removed the other one so I could get a part number. They are 1157s. I bought Phillips with a longer life, so I'll pop open the cover here and I'll throw that in. So you can see what's interesting is it comes out like that. It unscrews from the frame in the back, and then you have to back the screws out all the way to get out this plastic covering. Like I said, there's no bulb in there right now, so I'm going to throw on a glove and pop in a new bulb. Let's go flip the switch and give it a test. Well, that's a problem.
Is it your blinker?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might not hurt to clean out those terminal connections, because I have a feeling that might be it. So.
Ain't bright.
Yeah, it's not bright at all.
Goodness.
Go hit the blinkers again. Bro. Here, I'll turn on
Right?
No, not at all. Here, turn it off. Turn on the parking lights. Just pull it out one step. Too far.
Hang on, that's off, isn't it? Or no?
Nope, that's parking lights. I'm not getting anything, man.
Let me go a little bit farther.
No, it's gonna turn the headlights back on in this.
Okay, alright.
Turn it back off.
What? So, just gonna get some electronic cleaner. There it is. Get some electronic cleaner. Maybe that'll solve our issue. Maybe we're having just a bad connection. Hopefully that's it. Try the simple things first and see how we do.
Yeah, there's some good old corrosion in there. Does that actually eat up corrosion or anything, or just clean off the terminals?
It'll do a little bit of both. It's basically like gum cutter sorta. You can actually use brake cleaner because it's basically the same exact thing.
It definitely feels like it.
It's basically all it is. but
Hitting it with some electronic cleaner now as I try to fight the sunset. I'm going to clean it out a little bit more. As you can see, it was ridiculously dim before, and obviously I don't want that. So I'm going to wire brush it a little bit, clean it out a little bit, kind of closing the terminals and see what I can do. I'm going to have Colby hit the blinkers just whenever you're ready, hit it. And I don't think it's going to work, but son of... It's working now. Okay, I don't know what I did differently. It wasn't working when I put it back together, and I was about to say, it's not working, I'm just going to put it back together.
I'd rather have it that way than the other way around, to where it doesn't work when we turn it back on.
No, exactly. But I was literally about to say, well, it's not going to work. I'll have to diagnose it later and see what it is. But now that I started recording, it works. Here, turn on the low beams again, or the parking lights like you did before. Just pull the switch halfway out. Yeah, now it works. Okay, cool. So I don't know how I just fixed that, but I just fixed that. So now I'm going to get on to replacing the high beams. I'm going to get on the high beams now, once again, still fighting daylight, so I'm working on the front of the car because that's facing away from the sun.
You want me to hit high beams?
Yeah, hit the high beams real quick. So
just all the way out with the lights? Yeah,
turn on the lights real quick and then hit the pedal. So you can see that my low beams work just fine, so I'm not going to worry about replacing those, but... Oh, would you look at that? I have a high beam out, so... High beams. I believe it's just these 4 screws right here. This little assembly comes out and then these pop out. And I'm going to replace both of them because Amazon was cheaper to ship 2 of them instead of 1. So I said I'm going to ship 2 of them. It's like opening a present on Christmas Day, except better. Yeah. Aw. Anyways. Yeah, there's the new bulbs, so... Set that down right here. Looks like it's just a couple screws that fasten and hold it in right here, so I'll take those out. Twist it. Okay, Colby keeps on kicking the box, so it's getting further away every time I start speaking, but I'll take that out and then pop her out and get it going. I'm gonna have to get a longer screwdriver for that. Skinny screwdriver. Okay, I see. Oh, look at that. My car just gave birth to a light bulb. As Chris Fix would say, out with the old and in with the new. So I bought all Phillips bulbs for this car, so plug it in. It looks like I plug that into a 120 volt socket. I'm assuming if I did, I'd probably kill myself or someone else nearby, but I really want to find out, but I'm not going to.
The terminals don't look too bad.
Go ahead and hit it, just see if it turns on. Gonna test it now. Hit the high beams. And she works. So basically this little casing just kind of screwed around here. Gonna put that back on, shove it back in there, and then get on to the next. Fighting sunlight. So you can see it is in here. Unfortunately though, it is a little bit loose. There are some adjustment screws right here that you can see, and these plastic tabs are brittle and old and probably 60 years old, so this one just snapped off, which is most unfortunate. I'll grab the screw here, but in the meantime, I'll put this faceplate back on here, get the bulbs looking nice and in there, and then I'm going to get the other one while I'm here. So I'll try to see if I can do some adjusting later, because like I said, it kind of is sitting a bit crooked in here right now, but the faceplate is back on. Maybe that's something that I can adjust by trying to flip it around or something, or working a bit with these screws up here that still are in place. Kind of pull it around a little bit right there. I don't know, kind of a tough spot to work with, but I'll see if I can find a new little tabs to thread in back there. In the meantime, I'm going to do this one the exact same way that I did the other. Yep, that is exactly why this one's messed up. This tab snapped off too.
Yes.
I love these old bulbs like this.
Yes, bulba.
Bulba. I mean, I convert the Lexus to have these bulbs in it.
That'd be baller, not gonna lie.
It looks stupid in that car. I almost just put this bulb in without plugging it in.
Yes.
I was like, why are my high beams working? And be like, oh, I'm just brain dead. So I thought this was symmetrical until I put this in. I didn't realize that this chrome piece right here is a little bit longer than this one, and I'm really not sure which way it's supposed to be. It's kind of how I have this one as well, so. My phone is at 1%. I don't know where that last video cut off, but I noticed that these two pieces are put in a bit differently than one another. I might need to reinstall those trim pieces, so I'm really not sure how they are. And I have my microphone unplugged because my phone is plugged in right now. But for now, if you want to go flip the high beams again, Colby, just to make sure they work. Blinkers work. We verified this. I've installed both high beams now at this point. He's going to push them and both should come on. There we go. That is nice and bright. So I'm going to get around. I have 3 more bulbs to install. 2 more bulbs. I've got the license plate lights to replace and then an interior light. So as long as both of those work, we'll be good to go. I have size 67 bulbs right here to go up in the license plate light. Oh, there's screws in there so I can actually remove it. There's one. You know the screw's gonna strip if you don't put adequate pressure on it?
Yes. That's the
You
one.
hear that?
Yeah. That's a good crack though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that bad boy's in there. Sheesh. Everyone watching my YouTube video is gonna have to hear that one.
What?
But I guess it should just come right out of there. Or it won't because it hates me. Alright, how does this come out?
I think you just cut the wires.
There we go. This isn't the right size.
No, that's too big. Right?
Yeah.
Do you have any smaller ones up there or no?
No, this is all I got. Alright, well, that's not going to go in there. Yeah, size 67 doesn't fit in there, so I'm not sure what size bulb is in there, but it's very small. I'll have to get shopping around and find that. I'm going to return these. Inside the car now I have the dome light, which I believe just kind of pinches off like this. It's interesting. It's got quite a bit of rust for what it is, but there, I got one corner of it down. I'm not trying to break this either because it is a brittle plastic from 1964, and we are out. So let's unscrew that. Put down my phone so I can actually do that. Well, that one looks like it's going to be fighting me as well. I did get the bulb replaced, but unfortunately it has done me no good. It didn't come on. That's whatever. I did everything except for the dome light and the license plate light, so other than that, I'm happy. That'll be it for this video. I'm not sure what's coming next. I might work on the brakes next because I checked the brake fluid and, well, looks like that, which is disgusting and not how it's supposed to look. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to do a big brake overhaul or if I'm just going to flush them out, but I would like to at least get that fluid changed out and figure out why the brake lights have stopped working as well, because that is Very unfortunate, and I'd like to make sure that works. So I'm going to get on that at some point. For now, I might start it up, drive it around, just make sure it's still running right with the fuel filter and air filter installed. But other than that, that is all that I have for tonight. It's all that I have for this video. On that note, hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned, because, I mean, you can see she's still got some work to be done, but other than that, I'm happy with it. Thank you for watching. Have a great night. Have a great day, whenever you're choosing to watch this.